So we're asked to calculate angles PQR. Now that is the angle here. So how do we do this? Now, when solving circle geometry, you need to think of theorems. Now, one theorem that could come to mind is one theorem that has to do with center of a circle. So let's say that theorem is this. So it could be this. It is this, actually. Remember that theorem that says the angle at the center is twice the angle at the circumference. So meaning that if here is AOB, and let's say here is P, we notice that AOB is equal to 2 times APB. So that means if here is X, here will be 2X. But what about the angle here? And that's the angle we want to consider in our question. So how would we know the angle here? The same theorem shows that the reflex AOB. Now, what is the reflex AOB? The reflex AOB is actually this point here. So let me use another color. So let's say this point here. Yeah, that's reflex AOB. So the reflex AOB is actually 2 times, let's call this Q, AQB. So it all follows the principle that the angle at the center is twice the angle at the circumference. But this time, since the circumference is at this point here, then it has to relate to the reflex angle of AOB. So that is the principle we'll be using to solve the question here. And at this point, you notice that the reflex actually, since the angle we're looking for is PQR, which is at the circumference at this point, we have a reflex angle here, which is we'll call POR. So we'll just say reflex POR is equal to 2 times PQR. Okay, so this equation will help us find angles PQR. But first we need to know what reflex POR is. We already know what POR is, but the reflex angle of angle POR is actually this point here in the center of the circle. And we know that the angle at the point is 360. So that means that reflex there will actually be 360 minus 114 degrees. This will help us find this angle here. And that is 246, right? Right, I think that is it. Yes, that is it. That's 246 degrees. So the reflex POR is 246 degrees. And we know that is equal to 2 times PQR. So you see, it's easy to really find PQR, angles PQR once you know this formula here. So now we know that we can just divide both sides by 2 and we'll find the angle of PQR. So that means if we divide both sides by 2 here, that means angle PQR will be equal to 246 over 2. That is 123 degrees. So here we 123 degrees. Here will be 246 degrees. So we found the answer, 123 degrees. All you just need to do is know this theorem. We have solved questions on this theorem, I think, before. But I think this is the first time we're solving a question regarding this part of the same theorem. Okay. So this is the first part. Okay, so let's move on to another part.